Solo Leveling's final chapter left us all with a slack jaw. One of the greatest manhwa has officially come to an end. But before we talk about the light novel, let's talk about the manhwa's ending. Starting off, we see the fortune teller Madame Selner as a young woman, and she has the same prophecy as she did in the previous timeline. The god of death would descend on this land along with an infinite number of soldiers of death. But we all know that Sung Jin Woo isn't coming to destroy the earth, seeing that he spent the past 27 years in the void hidden between dimensions, killing all the monarchs. Once the giant gate opens in the city of Seoul, we see Sung Jin Woo stealthily come out, but he's approached by a man that is the messenger sent by the rulers. As he greets Sung Jin Woo and his 10 million shadow soldiers, he asks Sung Jin Woo if he can have a word with him, and Jin Woo leads him to an ice cream parlor he's been dying to eat at. The conversation between Jin Woo and the envoy of the rulers consists of Jin Woo leaving the planet Earth because the planet no longer has mana and can't support Jin Woo's powers. The reasons behind that, as said in the light novel, is because Sung Jin Woo's mana is so large that other beings will always be attracted to the earth because of his large power source, leaving the planet vulnerable to always being attacked. But he still decides to stay there because there are still people that he loves on the planet Earth. Now that we got the manhwa out of the way, let's talk about how the light novel actually ended the story. Now this isn't the only story that was in the ending of Solo Leveling. Jin Woo actually met up with Yoo Jin Ho and Cha Ha-in as well, and every other character. We got to experience what happened as time went by after Jin Woo came back from the dimension hidden inside the void. Now I'm gonna read to you guys straight from the light novel the ending section of Solo Leveling. When the doctor in charge walked into the hospital room, a certain patient lying on the bed gestured him to come closer. "Can you help me sit up, please?" The doctor hurriedly ran up to the bed and cautiously helped the upper torso of the patient lying on his back sit up. "Thank you." It was then the doctor spotted a wooden bottle he had never seen before on top of the table next to the patient's bed. "What is this, Chairman?" The gaunt patient, as thin as a desiccated tree, painfully coughed and wheezed before making his reply. "A young man gave it to me just now." The doctor formed a flustered expression. This was a VIP patient's room in the hospital, which meant there were 2 guards constantly manning the front entrance. No one could enter without express permission from the doctor himself. But just who managed to sneak in here to leave behind the bottle? It is truly strange thing indeed. However, what that young man told me was even more incredible. That young man told me the tale of a time long overwritten, when the patient used to battle monsters alongside him. The young man continued on and said that he came to visit him with a gift as a thank you for everything that had happened back then. And then he just simply vanished, as if he was a mirage, as if he was never here to begin with. If it weren't for the physical evidence, even the doctor in charge wouldn't have believed it. But there it was, the gift supposedly left behind by that young man. While the doctor stood there wondering how should he respond in a situation like this, the patient's trembling fingers were now pointing at the wooden bottle. Give it to me." The doctor picked up the bottle and placed it in the patient's hand. The old man sitting in the bed studied the bottle and chuckled. He said that as long as I drink what's inside this thing, my disease will be completely cured, as if being washed away. Huh? Chairman, you can't possibly be believing any of the words of "I'm tired." The chairman cut the doctor off. "Let me ask you this one thing. Even if I drink this, how long do I have left anyways?" The doctor couldn't make his reply. Even now, the absolute best that modern medicine had to offer only barely managed to keep the patient breathing. That was all. At this point, one could even claim it was a miracle that he was still alive. The chairman lightly tutted as the doctor was unable to say anything. "If I drink this and things go wrong, I want you to write this down on my gravestone. Chairman Go Gun Hee, buried in this place, having never given up and fought against his illness right into the end." "Mr. Chairman," as a doctor, he knew it was his duty to stop this, but he couldn't bring himself to do so when Chairman Go Gun Hee formed a determined expression on his face while opening the lid of the bottle. He then began drinking the liquid inside with some difficulty. Gulp, gulp. After making sure that every drop had entered his throat, Go Gun Hee began recalling the face of the young man who left this bottle behind. He recalled those eyes specifically. Go Gun Hee felt that it was definitely worth it to trust the man with such powerful pair of eyes. And then, once he finished drinking every drop of this medicine, ba thump, ba thump, ba thump, his dying heart began pounding healthily once more. His heart was beating again.